everything I've known for the unknown. And look how far I've come on those days. Please turn your phone off.
This is Linda's presentation after 12 months in Germany through Gloucester Rotary Club.
Look how far I've come in those days. The people who knew me before knew me as a quiet young girl who stays with her parents at functions, who doesn't like to go out much and prefers quiet time alone. The people who knew me before know me as introverted and someone who, if truth be told, gives up easily but is a dreamer. The people who know me now know me as a young woman who can speak 2 languages, English and German. They know me as the person who has the solution to other people's problems, the one who loves to party and go out with friends and explore a new city. The people who know me now know me as the Aussie exchange student who tries to show her newbies the best aspects of their own exchange years and to help them through the worst. Most exchange students come back from their year away and say the following: "It was the best year of my life." I 100% agree with the fact that I have had an amazing year and that the last month was incredibly hard to face. But I do not believe that it is the best year of my life. I believe it will be one of the best. My life will not stop now that I have returned to reality in Australia. I won't stop learning, and I won't stop speaking more than one language. I won't stop travelling, and I won't stop living a life of value. No matter if you've had a bad experience or a good experience away, you will have learned many lessons over time. You will have learned to be independent, to be frugal. Okay, maybe not. I can hear Mum scoffing at that one. You will have learned about the things important to you and what is worth leaving behind. In one of my first blog posts, I said I left many things back in Australia and wondered if it was all going to be worth it. Well, I can now say that yes, it was. To make an exchangee is to grow as a person and find yourself. It is to be whoever you want to be and learning to accept that whoever you are is perfectly okay. It's to form friendships that you will never forget and bonds that won't break. It's to leave a part of yourself in your new country so that you won't forget to come back. To make an exchange year is the best thing a person can do while they are young. No blog or presentation can ever truly tell or show the special things you learn, experience and figure out while away. You're writing your own book in life. Why not cross emotions and maybe write a few sentences in a language not everyone can understand? Why hide when you can live however you want to? My adventure started in Rendsburgh, 16,172 kilometres away from our small town here. Rendsburgh is a small city with a population of 28,500 people and is famous for its railway bridge that crosses the canal because it is the longest in Europe. Yay for us. Underneath the bridge is a ferry that can transport cars, bikes and people across the canal for free. The ferry doesn't ever actually touch the water or the ground and is suspended by strong metal ropes connected to the underside of the bridge that also has very heavy trains going over the top of it. Actually, a few weeks before I flew out, there was an accident where the ferry left the shore a little too early and hit the backside of a boat that was passing. Needless to say, that didn't turn out so well, and the ferry was out of order for a few days and was a top hit on YouTube within 2 hours of it happening. I have 3 host families. My first host family, the Cumbias. I forgot something. Okay. My first host family, the Cumbias, consists of Sabine, Torsten, Luca, and my host sister Marie, who was in Brazil on her exchange when I first got there, and she didn't come back until my last 3 months. My second host family was the Palakias. My host mother Kirsten, Hans, my host brother Max, and my other host brother Moritz,
who did an exchange in Paraguay and again didn't come back until my last 3 months. And my last family, Ralph, Beate, Biana, who did an exchange in, starts with an A, Argentina 3 years ago, Mats, who did an exchange 2 years ago in Mexico, and Maya, who left for her exchange in my last 3 months. The great thing about being in Europe is that you can do so much travel in such little space, like day trips to Denmark. 1 week, my class took a trip to Rome, and we were there from Sunday 19th to the Saturday 25th of April, and it was amazing. It was so sunny and warm until we decided to go to the beach, how typical. And the places we went were so interesting. Admittedly, I don't know much about the places we went because the tours were all in German, and it was only 3 months into my exchange. Obviously, I didn't understand that much. I understood dates and occasionally some facts, but mostly I just had to work things out for myself. We went to places like the Colosseum and the Catacombs and a lot of ruins. Not too sure because, once again, all is in German, including the names. I got lots of pretty photos and decided to save my shopping time for when we were there on Eurotour. This trip was a great opportunity for me to spend more time with the people in my class, and afterwards I could talk to just about everyone because we got to know each other so much during the week, having spent so much time with each other. I really loved my class. They are such a great bunch of people who are so willing to include me in things, which for an exchange student is very important, and it was a wonderful thing to have such great friends. I won't go into detail for Eurotour because it is really hard not to give the details. Plus, those who follow my blog would have read the day-to-day posts that I wrote for it, complete with pictures. In total, we went to the Czech Republic, Austria, Italy, France, a day stop in Belgium, but it was only at McDonald's, Colton, and through to the Netherlands, where we had our last city, which was also my favourite, Amsterdam. It was an awesome time to spend together with the other exchange students, and we all did travelling that most people only ever dream of, and we did it in 3 weeks. During the summer holidays, I went to Spain with my second and third families for 2 weeks for a holiday. We rented a house in the city called Tarifa that looks over the ocean. We were right down the south, and you can actually see Africa from our house. Unfortunately, we couldn't visit Africa because of internal war conflict, but it was really nice to see all the lights switch on, especially at night. Your year away is not meant to be a perfect paradise for a holiday. It's also not meant to be an intense learning curve. In fact, I'm not even quite sure there is a phrase that will ever quite describe what it is, but there is a happy medium in there somewhere. For personal growth and for development. We come and leave as two completely different people, and I can't overstate how important it is for people to find who that second person is. I've seen and done things I never thought that I would in the time span of a year, and while doing so, and those are the memories that I will never forget. To finish up, I just wanted to read out a few of my blog posts. One story, which now I look back is quite humorous, and the other two are rather reflective and carry important lessons I learned throughout the year. Signs in the Fußgängertunnel. Okay, so to get to my house, you need to go over a canal that separates Rendsburg and my suburb city, Westerumfeld. Because of this, there is an underground tunnel for bikes for people to get across. Now, I've been living across this canal for 4 months now, and every day I have to go across to town or school, and every day I've ridden through without any problems, and so has every other person here. Today, I wanted to go to Eckenförde for shopping, and I had to ride the bus. For the last week, I've noticed that the security people have actually been inside the tunnel, but I thought that's just because someone was doing something and they had to get caught at the other end. And I hadn't had any problems. Twice a day for a whole week. This time, I went to ride through and one of the guys stands at the end with his arms blocking the end, yelling something. I'm super confused because I'm like, is he yelling at me? So I point to myself questioningly and he nods. So I got off to see what his problem is and immediately he starts yelling at me. So I decided to do the thing that all exchange students do in this case. Sorry, I don't speak German. He continues in German and I'm like, mate, seriously, I can't understand you. So he points behind me and says, what do you see? And I said, a sign with a bike on it. Guy, and beside it, me. A yellow flashing light. Guy, so what does it mean? Bikes or no bikes? Me. Bikes? Guy, no, you can't ride in here. Sorry, that was meant to be there. 100 days. Today marks the day of having only 100 days left on my exchange. Now that may seem like a lot, but believe me, the time goes fast. It seems like only a couple of weeks ago that I arrived for the first time beginning my 365-day exchange. In this time, I've learnt a lot. I've also learned things about acceptance, living with others, priorities, cultural differences, developments in social skills, and of course, a brand new language. So without further ado, here are the top 20 things I've learned from my exchange year. Enjoy. 1. Being an exchange student is not easy. Sometimes someone takes longer to adjust than others, but that is okay. 2. You will make mistakes on your exchange. Move past them and learn from them. 3. This is how you look, and that's okay. It's also okay to be happy with that. 4. You won't always get on with your host family, so be prepared to make the changes. You are the one coming into their family life, not the other way around. 5. You will need to go to speak to others first in order to make friendships, which is very important for your year away. Don't be afraid to make the first move. 6. It's okay to try new things, even if you never thought you would do whatever it is. Experiences add to your understanding. 7. Find a host parent to be close to because when things go wrong, you will always need them to turn to. 8. A year is not forever. The things you left at home will wait, but your exchange year won't. 9. Even if sometimes you think they do, the people at home won't forget about you. 10. It's okay to put your phone down for an hour. I promise, no one will die. 11. Embrace the differences between families. 12. I know you'll think you're invincible, but the truth is, you're not. Bad things can happen, so take precautions. 13. Don't go totally crazy, just a little bit. 14. You will turn into a different person, and because of that, things will be different when you go home. And that's okay. You are a better person for it. 15. Don't forget your passions. 16. Sometimes it's better to focus on the present rather than the future. 17. Save the small and insignificant coins in a jar so that at the end of your exchange, you can buy your last ice cream. 18. Don't be afraid to ask questions. 19. Don't be afraid to be wrong. 20. Spend as much time as you can with your people, friends, family, and exchange student. Without them, you can't have an exchange year. Tschüss, October 1st, 2015. And the last post. We all have faults. To be truthful, I don't know if this happens for every exchange student, but maybe at some point in the year, you will have to sit down and lay out all your cards with your hosts. Talk with them, ask them why it's not working, and be prepared to be criticised, because you will be. But so will they when you give your side of the story. If you're an emotional person like me, there is every chance that you will cry and feel like a total idiot, all whilst willing yourself to stop. But sweetie, it's okay to show that it's not all okay. Sometimes your exchange won't be the best time of your life.
it will be the most challenging. And you have to accept that before you even get on that plane. Accept that you can't be perfect for all you meet. Accept it will be hard to make and keep friends. Accept that you will screw up, and accept that you have to fix it because you have to. Believe it or not, you have faults, and not everyone is going to point them out to you, but it's most likely that they will be pointed out at some point, and then you'll wonder, have I screwed up? Have I wasted my exchange? Have I done everything wrong? Unfortunately, it's only you who will be able to answer those questions upon reflection. But if you're like me, you'll fight that voice in your head. You'll think back on all the wonderful people you've met, the fact that you have learnt the language. You remember how you were before you came and realise that person has been replaced by someone completely new. Someone who understands more about the world. Someone who is not so naive anymore. Someone who makes those who love you proud. You're the person you've always secretly wanted to be. Confident, and most importantly, yourself. As humans, we have the tendency to always see the faults in others, but never ourselves. Remember that it is you who has to change to fit the family mold and not the other way around. Because hopefully, when you finally see your faults, when you finally see where you're going wrong, it's not too late to make the change. For things to work, you will have to make the change for your exchange. Yes, rhyming, isn't it brilliant? It's never unreasonable to make yourself bearable to live with, but you must always be open to hear those faults from both sides of the story. Both sides will always have to adjust a little bit about their lifestyles. The trick is to make that adjustment as smooth as possible so it doesn't blow up in your face. Try to be willing to diffuse that bomb, because when you do, you'll realise how much easier everyday life at home can become and how much more of your exchange year you can enjoy. Cheers, October 6, 2015. Nothing could ever replace the memories I've made for myself this year, or the people who have helped make them. Germany, a piece of me will always stay with you. Thank you for helping me grow. Thank you for helping me turn into the person I was supposed to be. For helping me realise my potential and to believe in myself. Thank you for helping me to realise fully where my passions and talents lie. And also for teaching me that just because something is not easy to come by or to achieve does not mean that it is not worthwhile. Thank you for my life, Germany. Because of you, I now have one. Bis nächstes Mal, Deutschland. Till next time, I will never forget you.